So next on we have econ. Econ, it's, as I explained earlier, it's a semester course. I love the class. I heard that a lot of my peers said that it's a hard course for some reason, probably because Vincent teaches a lot and really fast. But I didn't think it was that hard. Like somehow it all just was natural and logical to me. There are two parts to economics. There's like micro for the first semester and then macro for the second semester. And although most people said that macro is easier than micro, I definitely think micro was easier because drawing graphs is just easier than understanding abstract concepts, which macro centers around. My tip for this class to, digest the fast and overwhelming content would probably also be taking notes twice, because I also did that for this course and it also helped me a lot. Because for econ you have to memorize a lot of graphs and the way they look definitely helps for you to take it twice, because if the teacher especially is a fast talker, then you wouldn't understand the notes you take for the first time, or you would be too focused on taking good notes in class, you would miss out on a few key contents. So definitely don't aim for a good note for the first time and then come home to retake it for them to A, look good, and B, be lost in your brain. For econ, I'm gonna give it a RRR because I've never taken any class similar to this before, and econ was a whole new area for me and I really liked the class. It's definitely worth taking because, it opens up a whole new path, a whole new opportunity for you to pursue econ related things. It's like a gateway drug almost. Next on, we have English 2. I really like the grammar lessons that Ciencio dispatched in the beginning of the semester because they helped me improve a lot, and because our school's English classes have never really explicitly discussed grammar related things, that was the first time I was exposed to that kind of stuff, and it really helped me tweaked a few of my diction errors or like my grammar errors here and there. One thing I have to know is that I hate Catcher in the Rye. Like I hate it. Like it's such a boring read. I don't get why it could be labeled as a classic. Like it's a lousy book about an angsty kid. Why do people like it? Like, just no. Back to the class. So my actual tip would be that you finish all other homework that would be due the same day as the reading, so that the day before the reading is due, you can actually just do the reading for the entire night. So you don't have to spend time on their homework and you can retain all information from the book. And another thing for the content is that I didn't understand half of the short stories. I have to be honest here, even though I don't know if Mr. Scancy would accidentally see this video, but like I for the first semester he focused more on short stories, which I didn't understand. Yes, fake it till you make it, right? I mean, I'm gonna put English 2 I'm gonna put it in wasted 3 Starbucks drinks because I had way too many readings to make me extremely sleep deprived. So for Expo 2, which is a class that's mandatory to be taken with English 2, there was a lot of content related to English 2, like Mr. Ciencio would ask you to write essays about stuff that you've read in English 2, such as Catcher in the Rye, such as a short story named Cathedral. And there's also a lot of planning and deconstructing arguments. It really resembles what we do in AP seminar, so in a way he is almost preparing us for taking AP seminar. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of stress and a lot of 600-word essays, but like overall it wasn't so bad, but I also didn't learn as much. So I'm gonna put wasted 3 Starbucks drinks here, but it's not as content heavy as English 2. I feel like the help it offers, like what it teaches you, is more subtle, so you can't really tell if your English skills improved going through this class, but perhaps you did, but you just didn't realize. And I think it did, in a way, making my logic more clear, but there is no way to quantify how clear your logic is, you know what I mean? So even though I'm putting it in wasted 3 Starbucks drinks, I don't necessarily think that it was a waste. It was just that you cannot measure your own progress. We have Expo 3, which is the class that is mandatory to be taken with Amlet. And actually, in the beginning, I was salty about this because Expo 3, juniors don't have to take it. Only us kids who skipped a year of English course have to take it. So I was like, if this could be skipped, then why should I take it? Like, you're telling me that it's not a necessary course. Then why should I take it? So I wanted to finesse myself out of the Expo 3 and take Java and C++, but then Pamela said no. So I ended up still taking this, but it's just a lot of peer responses and reflection. So I feel like overall it's just an auxiliary class. So I'm gonna put it in Hakuna no Tata. I don't hate the teacher though. Like, she really tried to categorize different kinds of writings, but it was just an empty course. So if you're assigned to an empty course, what more could you teach? Like, I don't blame her. And the next is MUN. And you might be asking, oh, isn't MUN an extracurricular activity? Turns out in our school, it's almost like an extracurricular machine. So there's this class, MUN. And after you take MUN, you basically graduate from MUN and then you move into the MUN club. And it just basically pumps out MUN students, participants, members every year. Even though it's like this, I don't really hate it because I myself is pretty entrenched in this MUN culture and I'm rising through the ranks, that kind of stuff. So I personally like the activity because it makes me more attentive to international affairs. Before I came to the school, or before I got to know what MUN was, I literally had no idea about other worlds. I can only name out like Russia, China, and the US. Like, it made me had a more firm grasp on what MUN should look like and what quality solutions there are. But learning those also comes with a lot of work, like country reports or like position papers, or analyzing different countries' foreign policies. So the first semester was heavy with work, and the second semester was more interactive debates, and that was when things got fun. But you have to know about the content before you can have fun. So I'm gonna give it I Like You, Have a Cupcake. And next is honors physics, which I took in my sophomore year. It was right after pre-calc and it was taught by the same teacher. So you know how bad it might have been to have sit through the same teacher's class for 2 consecutive periods, which amounts to I think 160 minutes in the same classroom with only 5-minute break between them. And because the teacher is also like a rapid fire lecture type, so like it was really like my power was just draining out by the time I had physics. And actually, like, I liked taking tests from this class more than I did having the class, like taking tests was more relaxing than listening to the lecture because she puts out so much information because she's so experienced in this course, so knowledgeable too, and she's just really enthusiastic on passing down that knowledge. Like, she speaks so fast and tries to get everything covered, even the more advanced content, and like try to take care of the honor students. But because of all those reasons, the class was really dense and it's hard to bear through, so I liked taking tests. It was almost like a break, In the latter half of the semester, a lot of things happened. Not only AP exams, but also like Diamond, NSDA debates. A lot of shit was happening, and also sometimes online school. So I kind of fell behind in the course, and it was almost overwhelming because I preferred math over physics. So I just was really reluctant to do any physics works. So I'm gonna give it yes but no because it's just way too much work. But I also learned a lot from it. But like there could have been less work for me to consolidate the same information. And next we have pre-calc. I call it pre-calc because I don't know, our school calls it that way. And as I've said, I prefer math over physics, so it was easier for me. Like, it was also content heavy, but because of my personal preference, it was easier for me to catch up. However, I can demonstrate to you how much content there was. So it literally filled up 4 of my notebooks. These 2 are A4 ones, and afterwards I transitioned to my iPad GoodNotes. And after I transitioned, it filled up 40 more pages of my GoodNotes notebook. The math was okay, almost a review of Algebra 2. So for those of y'all taking Algebra 2 out there, I really recommend you to listen hard because pre-calc is basically repeating those, but just a little bit harder. So I'm gonna give it I like you, I have a cupcake. And the next one is psychology, which is a class I took after econ. I was so salty that I couldn't take stats. That kind of undermined the experience a little, but not that much. I don't really remember a lot from out of this class because most of them is lecture, taking Cornell notes from crash course videos. So I think I didn't get to retain that much information. I know that some of the content are important, like certain mental illness. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that course, except for the fact that there was one fun experiment where we had to look at our reflection on the mirror next to the door and try to draw a star looking at the reflection. It was super funny because we all were just drawing crooked stars and it was just harder than I expected. And yeah, we had a good time.
Wait. Hey. Where the fuck did this?
I'm gonna give it I like you have a cupcake because I wouldn't have learned those stuff outside of the class, and that experiment really enhanced the entire experience, honestly. The next is Algebra 2, which is the class you have to take before pre-calc. I also don't remember much from it, just that the teacher always asks us to move to the board and try to solve the problems he has given us. And for me, I don't think that was an effective way to study. Honestly, no hate on the teacher, but it's not my way because I usually like to have people dump information on me. But the teacher was not that way, and he usually just gives us problems before telling us how to, teaching us the concepts or telling us how to solve them. Yeah, but because the classes were basically 10% lecture, 90% us trying our own ways of resolving problems, the class was not so overwhelming. It's not like lecture bombs, but rather us taking our time, and most of the time we're just us sitting on chairs and chilling. So I'm gonna give it a yes but no. The second to last is US history. It's fun, and I guess arguably more fun than world history because it covers just one country and in a shorter time span, so you can really get into the details of things. Okay, so I literally have exhausted at this point 2 batteries. Got cut off once because of overheating, so I'm gonna speed run through the last 2. So for US history, I was just talking about the fact that it's more fun when you only have to deal with one country, especially the debates. So although Mr. Cook frames them as hardnesses, I feel like we kind of get heated sometimes, probably because of me and my belligerent nature, but it's really fun. But one thing I have to complain about is the first exam we got on the very first day at the school because he had to kick out some people to regular. He put that score onto Power School even though he's literally not taught anything before that. So it kind of dragged my first semester grade down a little, but overall it's fine because you can still earn points through later assignments. So I would give this course I like you have a cupcake. Next, world history. So that's the last one on the list. Yeah, I also really like the class because the teacher is very knowledgeable, the kind when you can throw random history or politics related questions at and he would enthusiastically answer, and he gives you exam questions and study guides, which is super helpful because you don't have to waste time studying stuff that won't even be on the test because he knows that the content could be a little miscellaneous and overwhelming. So what an icon. Definitely take his class, but he also is the kind that lecture dumps on you, so just be prepared to type really fast notes and stay alert, I guess. Also sit in the front row, or else if you sit in the back row you would likely coast and just lose focus on a lot of very important content. A downside to this class is that there are a lot of projects and research to do. You have to write research essays every quarter, and preparing the presentation was not that much of a hassle except the fact that you had to keep it under your time limit even though you've written a 1,000-word research about it. But writing the essay was really painful though for people who don't like to research, aka me. So for the course, I'm gonna give it Actually, I'm gonna push US history to Aurora just because the teacher is great, the environment is great, the content was not taxing, and put world history into I like to have a cupcake. Yeah, because a lot of essential world history information were learned from that class, and I am grateful for that. And that's it for my tier ranking my classes. And I hope you like this video, or probably 2 videos. I'm gonna cut it out right now. Bye!